Hey guys, Adam here from Lawn Hub and welcome back to episode 5 of our first lawn series. Unfortunately, since last week's episode, we've had some major troubles. I'm going to talk to you about them, so stick around. Nah, I'm just tricking. Come have a look. So 5 weeks ago, we started this series and we, I suppose, inherited a lawn that had a little bit of neglect. It had no fertilizer, it was getting mown on the same setting. We had 150 mil of thatch. Yes, 150 mil of thatch in this Tiff Tough lawn. We've done a pre-scalp, a second scalp, we've done a heavy top dress, we've done an application of Trojan BBW and roots and shoots last week. And this is what we've got. We've got a very nice lawn that we're working with here. I reckon today, after we've finished mowing, I think these stripes are gonna be popping. The lawn behind us has had its own troubles, its own journey. That's being cut with that Makita battery mower and it's probably actually looking better than this side. So yeah, I say we just get stuck into it. So we'll start with a snip, a blow, and then we'll mow. Alrighty guys, so yeah, you can see it's come up magnificently. Still a bit patchy in areas, but we did touch on that early on in the series that it was going to take a while for the lawn to recover, but you know, the lawn is recovering well. We didn't really get much off that cut, which means that we are keeping on top of the mowing at the moment. We're doing about 2 times a week. There is a little bit of seed head popping about. I'm going to put that down to maybe the colder mornings that we've had at the moment and then the hot temps in the afternoon. But yeah, I don't believe it's nutrition. We've got enough food in here. There'll be a 3-way application coming in the next 7 days, so someone will have to do that. But I suppose to recap on what we've done here, I know we touched on it briefly at the beginning, but we inherited this lawn. It needed some work. It was very uneven, it was very thatchy, and it was very tall in length. So we did a pre-scalp. So pre-scalp, we took all the thatch out of it, we took all the height out of it, we took it back to basically stole-on, so the crowns, that brown material. We then fertilised and used a wetting agent. So we used Trojan and BBW, we applied that over the whole lawn and we watered it in. Now that's important because sometimes we get caught up in wanting to apply top dress and apply fertilizer and water all at the same time. But we've done some testing over the last 3 years, and we've found that if you fertilise and use wetting agent 2 weeks before the actual proper reno, we're seeing a much faster recovery, as we've seen in this series here. Obviously we've had good soil temps to go with that. I'm not naive to that, but it just meant that on the day, especially if it's hot, it's one less thing that you need to do. So this lawn was actively feeding. Then 2 weeks later, we filmed episode 2 and we scalped it again. We had that initial surge of growth. We cut it back again. We didn't touch the side behind me, the little lawn area. I'll touch on that at the end. But then we did our heavy top dress. We ordered, I think it was 3.5 tonne of sand. 3.5 tonne went out, we had a little bit left over. That was put out over the whole lawn. Now a common question we're getting is what sand was that? It was just a washed top dressing sand from the local landscape yard, which is just down the road here where Lawn Hub is based. tip for you guys at home and girls is ring your local landscape yard and ask for a top dressing sand, not a top dressing soil, top dressing sand. You want to ideally have a wash sand. I've heard of some horrors in the emails and forums of they've ordered a top dressing sand and it comes with black organic mulch, bark chips. That's not what you want for leveling purposes. So ask for a washed sand or a top dressing sand. If they don't know what you're talking about, then probably go to the next one. Ring them up, email them, Facebook and whatever. If you get nowhere, ring your local golf club or your local lawn bowls if they're not synthetic, and just ask what they use. They may not give out that information, they may give out that information, but basically if they're going to be able to get it, then someone in your area will be able to get it. Moving on, so then we went back to 3 waterings a week after the top dressing for 40 minutes, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, over these 2 lawn areas. Now, I'll touch on the back lawn area. We only scalped that once, and it wasn't in the first video. It was done between episodes 1 and 2. And then that didn't get another scalp as big as this area did because we were quite rough on it off camera behind us. We should have filmed it, but it's just, yeah, it was between that Christmas time. So we got at that with the cylinder mower, cut the guts out of it and fed it and wetting agent. So that's why that lawn is a bit more advanced than this one. It's had about a week and a half, 2 week head start. Moving on to our first mow, which was on that area actually with that Makita battery mower. We then also in that same episode, we pushed the remaining sand around on this lawn and that lawn just to move it around because it was so heavy. And then episode 4 was the first mow on this lawn. And then now episode 5, we're back on, episode 4, we also applied roots and shoots to both lawns. And like you can see the immediate difference of that already. It's a really good product, roots and shoots, one of our favorites. There's definitely some favorites inside as well. So, and then episode 5 was just, I suppose, just a mow. We didn't get much off, which was good. So we're not cutting into the crown, we're not scalping it, we're just, you know, taking the tops off. That Makita mower is doing a really good job. And then basically from here, we'll continue watering regularly, we'll continue mowing regularly, and we will continue doing our fertilizer liquid applications. And we're about 3 weeks off from a granular application, but that will probably be our first prem application going into the next season, which we'll talk about that and do a series about that. The plan out here as well is to try and get some PGR down before the end of the season. So plant growth regulator, so your Astro, your Primo, we'll do a whole video hopefully before the end of the season on doing that out here. Not going to do a rye over, so Clint ruled that out. We may sneak one through out the back here on the little lawn, I don't know, but not on the big lawn. And basically it's just going to be about maintaining this lawn moving forward. So I suppose what's next for video content, so to my left, the whole building here, the whole property here has got a garden that goes all around, so we can talk about doing some garden maintenance, some garden fertilizing, some irrigation tips on your garden beds, some things that you may or not know. Continue mowing out here. And I suppose, you know, from you guys at home, a really common question and something you want us to do is to do a solo 414 with a nozzle upgrade kit. That video is coming, so we'll do that out here as well. But yeah, basically we've got free rein out here. The one thing that I will quickly touch on is why didn't we core this lawn at time of reno? And the answer to that question is I was unorganized and couldn't organize one quickly enough, so that's my fault. Otherwise we would have done a core, but to be honest, the soil is actually pretty good here. There was a big sandy loam soil prep put in beforehand, which we discovered when we dug up those slabs. So that's pretty much going to wrap up our first lawn series here, where Lawn Hub is based. If you've got any questions, you've got any suggestions, or if there's anything you want to see, pop it down in the comment section below. If you don't want to put it out there in the public, you can send me an email at adam@lawnhub.com.au or hit us up on our socials. But that's it, that's going to wrap up this series. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.